Hi, I'm Carl Zha, the host of Silk and Steel podcast, and this is my fiance Ani.
Hello.
We are here today on a cloudy day in Bali. We're going to talk about. First, I'd like to thank all my patrons to help me reach my goal of $1,000 so I can start the new project of retelling of the classic Chinese story, Romance of Three Kingdoms.
Camera in here.
I have started my podcast in 2019, Silk and Steel podcast, and I'm really heartened and by the tremendous growth in my subscriber base. I have never expected that I will find an audience. I mean, I always love to talk since very young. But back in elementary school, many times I have been told to stand in the hall for talking in class. I just never thought I would actually make a career out of it. So thank all of you. I initially started my project Silk and Steel podcast because I like to talk about China. China is my passion, especially the Chinese history and culture. As many of you already know, I was born and raised in China until I was 13 years old when I went to United States. And I feel in this day and age, it's even more important to kind of bridge the gap in understanding between China and the outside world. And I feel it's very important to provide historical context, the historical background, so people can understand how China become what it is today. Anyway, and Romance of Three Kingdoms is one of my favorite stories growing up as a child. And I would very much like to introduce that story to my fiancée Ani because she's always curious to find out about where I'm from, my background story, and I want to share this part of my childhood with her. And I thought it would also be a great introduction to Chinese history and culture to people who may be unfamiliar with. And now, the story of Three Kingdoms has gained more popularity, especially several video games have come out. First, it was Dynasty Warriors by Japanese company Koei, and then more recently, the Total War Three Kingdoms series. So I'm pretty sure many people are curious to know more about the story and the background. There are other Three Kingdoms resources out there. I mean, there's the story of Three Kingdoms is based on a novel that was written in Ming Dynasty China. But I will tell you what, many Chinese never read the novel. I did not. I certainly didn't read the book when I was growing up. Most people get exposure to the story through storytelling. Listen to professional storytellers. In the old times, they would be in a tea shop. You drink your tea and you listen to the professional storyteller to tell an episode of this grand saga. In more modern time, you will be a TV series and even anime and games and computer games. So I wanted to bring to the English-speaking audience the same experience I had as a child, for my first exposure to the story, which is through storytelling. But I want to do it in a way that is told in vernacular 2020 English. That is my puppies making background noises. We have 3 Balinese puppies, and they always want to be, always want to contribute. And some of you have already heard them on my podcast making the background music.
Oh boy. Okay. You keep talking. I'm gonna stop them doing things, destroying my.
Okay. So as I talked in the previous video, my fiancée Ani got interested in the story when she saw me watching other people playing the game Total War Three Kingdoms on YouTube. And the reason I'm watching because my laptop is not really set up to handle video gaming, and I live vicariously through other people. And here's one of my puppies, Salkla. He wants to be part of the show. Hello, Salkla. Say hello to our audience.
No.
And so I'm actually very surprised that to hit our goal so soon. You know, I thought it's at least like a half a year away. I have plenty of time to prepare. You know, Ani can tell you.
It's a little secret.
Yeah, she can tell you how panic I was when I realized we're gonna reach the goal soon.
Yeah, so before we already made some video that we were talking, like remind you guys, especially the Patreon, that he set a goal. He set the goal at $1,000 for the Patreon, and he set the Three Kingdom, and I was I was asking him what is that and everything, and at that time, he already reached 990 something, and I tell him, "Oh yeah, so you need to prepare for that." And you know, because
I said, "Nah, you know, I still have at least few weeks. You know, no worries."
So
no worries.
I'm pledging to his Patreon because it's easier for him to see.
She likes to support me. She likes to support me.
Basically, because he need to see how it is, how the message goes to the Patreon, how it the layout and everything, what he was reading and everything. You want to know like everything going well, if the message is coming and everything. So yeah, I pledged for him like $10, and
thank you for your contribution.
So I pledged for him, and it was like last week. Well, we were still in a vacation, like a short vacation in Uluwatu.
We took a mini surfing vacation to Uluwatu, a different part of Bali, which is has
like
a lot
more really on the south.
Yeah,
it's like great beaches and wave.
A lot of surfing spots.
Yeah,
it was her idea, but I loved it. Thank you, Ani. Thank you.
You're welcome. So he reached the goal after. It was after the other podcast?
Yeah, I think it's after our little video introduction to my upcoming project on Three Kingdoms, and that generated some interest, and thank you for all of you who have contributed and makes this possible. But I was really panicking because I was down in Uluwatu, you know.
We are on
was
a vacation,
yes.
And I tell him like, hey, look, you just reached your 1,000 goal, so now you need to do the Three Kingdom. And he's like, oh no, I'm not ready and everything. So I tell him like, do you want me to unpledge for you so it goes back down to 990 something? And he's like, yeah, please do. And I did that, and it only lasts for 2 days until someone else pledged for like more than that. So it's coming back to 1,000.
So I have to do it now, basically. Thank you guys for forcing me to do this. But really, thank you guys.
Believe it, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean that thing. So, well, that 1,000 is really supporting us. Especially, he decided to retire when he's, you know.
Okay, I did not plan to live in Bali when I first came here last year. Okay, this was supposed to be just a 1 month surfing vacation, and when he found out that a lot of tourists can stay here, foreigners,
a lot of foreigners find a way to stay longer.
I was at the surf line, you know. I was trying to make small conversations, and you know, like, oh, you know, where are you from? How long you been there? I expect people to say, you know, oh, I've been here like last week, and you know.
No, they will be like, I'm here for like 5 years.
I'm like, what? How do you do that? They're like, oh, it's easy, you know, you just do a visa run. And I was like, oh, you know, all these other people are doing it. Maybe I could do it too. And yeah, I just love Bali because I'm a tropical person. I love warm weather and I love surfing. I came here for surfing, and my you know, passions in life, besides talking about history, is surfing and dancing. And what I found out is,
He's a great dancer, believe me.
Thank you.
Like I watch him in real life. I was like, I don't care if I'm not dance with him. I just like to see him dance.
So I did not expect to find actually a dancing scene in Bali as well. I know Bali
You have a lot.
But I know Bali is a surfer's paradise. That's what I came here for. And when I realized I could surf and dance, I thought, okay, I don't have
And you
any
can do both in one day.
Yes, why should I leave? And that's when I plotted to stay longer in this tropical paradise. And it turns out it was you, my Patreon supporters, who enabled me to do that. When I first came to Bali, I think I had maybe a monthly pledge of $350, right? But just within the last year, there was such tremendous growth in my subscriber base that actually allowed me to live in Bali, living my dreams. I'm living my dreams because
Basically,
of you.
you guys helping him to live here and continue doing what he's doing right now. Because I was imagining like if he doesn't have the support from you guys, like from the Patreon, I was like, oh no, he will back to work, like sitting in front of the computer for 8-10 hours a day, and after I get tired and straight go to sleep maybe. So he will not have.
Oh, that's our puppies. I'm gonna have to go break up a fight.
I'm sorry for the interruption. It was cut. Like I just posted a video because the fight is too much. Like it's our everyday life now. Like at least 5 times a day we have the dogs fight. They were puppies.
6 month puppies.
And we still have 2 years to go until they reach their fully grown age.
Yeah, she didn't like that I have dogs. I got suckered into it.
To be honest, I'm a dog walker, I'm a dog sitter, and at home, I mean like in my parents' house, I have 1 dog. I know how it is to have a puppy, to have a dog since they were a kid. He just new to it, like you just having a puppy.
Yeah, I came to Bali and then 2 stray puppies showed up on my door, so I took them in. But unfortunately, I didn't know what I was doing, so after like a month and a half, both of them caught parvo and passed away because I was a first-time dog owner. I didn't know they need to be vaccinated, and then after that, my friends find out about it, and then they said, "Oh, we have 2 puppies. Would you like to have them?"
Yes.
And I thought, whoa, no, hold on a minute. That's a lot of responsibility. I at the time I was still single, so I thought, I kind of like my single life. I'm not sure. And then I told them, okay, I'm not sure. And then they call me up. Few days later, they said, "Oh my God, can you please help me? There's a family of water monitors.
Live in the apartment.
They're huge lizards, basically like Komodo
1.5
dragon type of
1.5 meters.
Yeah, and they found a family of those water monitor living on their roof, and those things will eat dogs and cats.
Yeah, they were like this big, like this big, like this, so small.
The puppies. The
puppies,
were
like
that big.
we got them.
So they asked me, okay, can you please foster them for a couple of weeks until
I'm a dog owner before him. I know how it feels, and I'm a dog walker too, so I know how other people think about puppies. And I already baby, we should not do this, we should not do it, because I know he will fall in love. Definitely he will fall in love.
I did. We had we drove all the way, 45 minutes to get these puppers, and then they're so cute. I thought, well, what's so hard about keeping a dog, right? Just give them food.
He doesn't know that. He didn't know that for the moment.
Just give them food. Vaccinate them.
They chew your shoes, they chew your bags, and the best thing about it is they chew his mouse, like the cable, and chew my charger, my laptop charger, which is pretty costly.
Yeah, and then my like a month later, there was another abandoned puppy that moved into our neighborhood, and so every time I walk the two brothers, Soklat and Madhu, the third puppy will join us. So I thought, okay, well, what 2 and 3 puppies really not that much difference. Didn't like it. So now we
You
have
guys,
3 dogs.
if you just start to have a puppies, like you just decided you will be a dog owner,
Just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
if you don't have
You
believe
just
me,
have
if you-
patience.
if you don't have that patience, if
Yeah.
you just like just because they're cute and everything, just adopt them and everything.
They're like children. You gotta.
No, you need to watch over them.
Yeah.
If not, they will chew everything. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, enough about our dogs. Let's return to our original topic, which is my new project, the Romance of Three Kingdoms podcast. So now at this point, I will start the podcast soon, since the goal has already been reached. What I will do is to tell the story of Three Kingdoms in vernacular English. Right. Well, one of the things I didn't find very satisfying is the Romance of Three Kingdoms story is tradition. Was first fictionalized in a novel, and that became one of the 4 classics, the classic novels of ancient China. But many the secret I'm going to tell you is that many Chinese have never read the novel. They have never read the novel The Romance of Three Kingdoms. Yet
is
they
it
know,
like a lot of pages, or
yes,
it's just?
it's. I mean, it's.
Is it more than Harry Potter?
It's a long story. Let's just say that the story is like, it's an epic saga involving many characters. In fact, many more. For people who are familiar with Game of Thrones, it has even more characters than Game of Thrones,
Okay.
and it cover a period that's longer. Over 100-year time span. So there are a lot of characters. The book itself is very character driven. And the thing about the Romance of Three Kingdoms is that traditionally people have come to learn about the stories through traditional storyteller in places like tea shop, and in more modern times they consume it via television. There was a famous, I think, 1998 and 2010 version of Romance Three Kingdom TV series that has been popular, very popular, and I do highly recommend both. And then in more recent times through video games, right? There's a Dynasty Warriors, and then Total War Three Kingdoms series that just came out. But what I want to do is to tell the story how I experienced it as a kid, right? In a colloquial language that's colorful, that's interesting. That's not kind of like the archaic translation of classic Chinese. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and to start this new project with my lovely partner Ani, because I feel this it's a very good introduction to the Chinese history and Chinese culture. In fact, yesterday we just watched a movie based on the Japanese manga of the Chinese Warring States period, about the story of the first emperor, and Ani liked it, and she.
Oh, I really like it. Like the character is really nice. It's just, can I give opinion about that movie?
Sure. We won't turn this into a movie review for like 5 minutes.
It was great. Like the setting was great, but some part is just too over dramatic. Like I don't want to
It's
spoil
based on a
it,
manga.
but
It's based on a manga, so you can. It's like anime live action.
the fashion is a little bit too much. There is some character that I really love the fashion, the clothes, the dress, the robe, but some of the hair and makeup is just a little bit too much. You guys might see, like, it was a great movie. It's like, just watch it. It's really great. So
that's Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's a 2019 Japanese production that was filmed in China, based on the ancient Chinese history period of warring kingdoms. It's about the story of the first emperor. This is what I will do is I will give a brief historical background to the story of the Three Kingdoms, and then just dive right into the story. And there are actually many variation of Romance of Three Kingdoms story, and you'll find my version to be very interesting. And I know there are not many English language version of Romance of Three Kingdoms out there, so I like to be one of the first to deliver this content to you.
Okay, just, like, they might want to know when you're going to start it.
Oh, yes.
Because now it's already, like, reached the 1,000 goal.
Yes.
And I know that he's not prepared for it yet. Not yet. So I want him to set the schedule, like, when he will
You want me to
do
be
it.
realistic?
Yeah,
next
of
2
course.
weeks. Next 2 weeks.
Because I was paying for him, and I want to know where that money goes. Like, where, like, I contribute, and he need to do his job, like giving you the.
I have
the
been
content.
preparing myself since we have been reached the goal, and I will promise we will have the first episode coming out in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
So until then,
2 weeks time, guys.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. First episode of retelling of the Romance of Three Kingdoms. So until then, thank you again for your contribution. Bye bye.